So the reason why I'm here today is I had previously done the TMS and felt that it was really successful. A lot of positive results from it all, and my son had called me and was in a pretty bad place, and he had told me that basically he was wanting to check into the hospital, but he was afraid to do so because he was so paranoid. So I mentioned this to Dr. Nanos, and of course her response was, you should get him here now, not later, but now. And so we got him here quickly, I think within about 2 weeks. And so I want to talk a little bit about Casey as a child and kind of where he ended up right before TMS. But he was really, really a curious kid. He was really persistent. Most kids are curious, but his persistency was just unbelievable. He was so alive. He was just bouncing off the walls, just full of happy energy. It was just amazing for him to be able to analyze everything at a young age, which, you know, he wouldn't take any vague answers. He would cut right through the BS and figure it out. And so it always kind of blew me away. So another thing about Casey was he was hilarious. His curiosity, his energy, but he was hilarious. And he was so funny that he would know exactly how far to push me or whoever to almost get into trouble, and do it in such a way that you couldn't really get him in trouble without laughing. It was really hard to correct him with a straight face. Then as time went on, he really had a lot of friends in school. In high school, he had so many friends, and I don't know if he realizes it now or realized it then, but a lot of people looked up to Casey. Casey and Dustin decided to go to a rave one night, and they also decided to do some ecstasy. And tragically, Dustin didn't make it that night. He died. And so this is really traumatic, obviously, to Casey. It's tragic for his family. I mean, everyone that knew Dustin, he was like a gentle giant. He had a gentle soul and a giant heart. He was just a great person. Well, as time went on, you know, Casey, I had noticed since junior high school, wasn't always as happy as he was as a really young child. He, obviously now looking back, there were some issues, and I don't think that I recognized everything, but there was some depression, and he had started to kind of talk about suicide, but I didn't really know what to do with that. There were times in my life I had felt similar, but it wasn't like, you know, is this going to be now? Is this going to be soon? Is he really planning it? I mean, it's just really hard to deal with that kind of statement or question. So let's fast forward now to Casey at 32 years old, and he's not okay. And he calls me up and said he was thinking about checking into the psychiatric ward, but was afraid to do it due to the circumstances. He was really paranoid. I mentioned this to Dr. Nanos, and obviously she said, get him here now. And we did. And because I'd gone through the TMS process and I felt it was really successful, we got Casey to agree to start the process. I think he told someone, whether Dr. Nanos or someone at the staff, that if he didn't get through this whole TMS process, that was pretty much it. He felt he had tried everything, he was hopeless, and just couldn't continue. So anyway, we started the week-long process, and it really wasn't easy. It wasn't a walk in the park. From hour to hour, he had extreme highs, he had extreme lows. There was so much that I didn't even realize was going on. But ultimately, near the end of the week, he was really feeling positive, and I could really see the change in him. And I guess what I'd like to do now is just say how grateful I am to be able to sit here and talk about how alive Casey is again, to see him being hysterical again. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got a great mind. We plan things in the future. We talk about now. And it's just, I am so glad that I can talk about Casey's life as it is now instead of giving his eulogy. So during that week, we had these extreme highs and extreme lows, and I wasn't really involved with his sessions talking to the health coaches or anything, but it was just fantastic for him to be able to communicate what he needed to, and the staff at Kind Health Group was fantastic. All of them were just great, helpful, friendly, and the whole staff with the TMS group that was administering it and the doctors involved were just fantastic. And so I can't say enough about how great everyone here was. It just really probably made a difference versus doing TMS somewhere else.